This is actually incredible. Bernie Sanders was on Fox News. I don't know why more people haven't seen this because it's only 90,000 views on this clip. But Bernie Sanders went on Fox News and told them the truth to their face about what's happening to this country. And this is exactly what we need to be doing. We need folks to be going anywhere and everywhere saying the truth about what's happening in this country. And Jasmine Crockett, I don't know if y'all have seen this, but Jasmine Crockett played a game called Trump or Trans. And I'm just gonna let you see what that meant.
So, Miss Goss-Graves, I want to play a game. It's called Trump or Trans. You ready?
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to tell me whether or not it is Trump or trans people that are responsible. You understand?
Got it.
Okay, very good. The first one, gutted medical research.
Trump.
Kidnapping Americans and sending them to foreign countries, a.k.a. deporting them.
Trump.
Driving us into a recession.
Trump.
Increasing the cost of everything.
Trump.
Waging an idiotic tariff war.
Trump.
Harming farmers.
Trump.
Ignoring the Constitution.
Trump.
Proposing to take away Social Security.
Trump.
Cutting health care.
Trump.
Firing government workers who keep our country safe.
Trump.
Encouraging an environment of hate and divisiveness.
Trump.
Thank you so much. This committee could be engaged in actual oversight of fraud, waste, abuse, and mismanagement. So let's talk about waste. Like Trump's plan to spend almost $100 million for his little birthday parade. Or how he spent 25% of his first 100 days golfing, costing taxpayers tens of millions of dollars. In fact, it's a little bit over $30 million at our last estimation. In fact, President Trump is on pace to spend more than $1 billion of taxpayer dollars just on golfing. Yet the Republicans have been silent. So they must think spending taxpayer dollars on the president's golfing trips is more important than providing health care to their constituents. And when I talk about constituents, we're going to talk about the ones on this committee.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, they tried telling us that, Donald Trump is saving the country money because he's donating $400,000, his presidential salary, back to the government. And he's trying to say that's a win. Actually, Mr. President, if you are a billionaire, why don't you just pay for your own golf trips? Why do we have to pay for you to go golfing? And then on the other side of the Capitol, Senator Tom Tillis dropped a bomb that no one was expecting, where he is not going to support the nomination of Ed Martin for U.S. Attorney of Washington, D.C. If you don't know who he is January 6th truther. He was at the insurrection, and he has been insane on Twitter and using the powers of his office to go after folks because he is right now, he's an acting attorney general. And Tom Tillis said, nope, not this time. Watch this.
That what happened on January the 6th was wrong. It wasn't, it was not prompted or created by other people to put those people in trouble. They made a stupid decision, and they disgraced the United States by absolutely destroying the Capitol, and I can't have any patience for
It
them.
sounds like your concerns were not alleviated.
But let me be very clear, though. Mr. Martin did a good job of explaining the one area that I think he's probably right, that there were some people that were over-prosecuted. But there were some, 200 or 300 of them, that should have never gotten a pardon, and he agreed with that. But the disagreement there had more to do. If Mr. Martin were being put forth as a U.S. attorney for any district except the district where January 6th happened, the protest happened, I'd probably support him, but not in this district.
Bro, these people cannot, they have to always acquiesce a little bit. It is insane to say that Ed Martin should be a district attorney anywhere. It's just not DC. It's just him trying to appeal to the MAGA base, which, by the way, doesn't work because they're always out for blood, and they always know when people are not giving them their full throated support. And this is another example of that, where Tom Tillis is trying to have it both ways, which is really annoying. But regardless, it's good that he is doing this, that he is going to sink Ed Martin's nomination. Because Ed Martin, I'm telling you, Ed Martin in that role would be a nightmare. Would be a nightmare. And then in the same city, in a studio, Bernie Sanders said the truth about what's happening in our country.
You have this tour with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Fight the Oligarchy. You've seen big crowds.
Huge crowds.
Explain it. Why do you think it's happening?
I think, and by the way, we actually have information on this, Brett. It's not just, I'm an independent. We attract a lot of Democrats. It is not just Democrats coming out to our rallies. It is Republicans. It is a lot of independents. And why is that? I think there are a few concerns. Number one, when Trump gets inaugurated and standing behind him are the three wealthiest guys in America, Musk, Bezos, and Zuckerberg, and standing behind them are 13 other billionaires that Trump has appointed to head up major government agencies. People are really saying, really? This is a government of the billionaire class, for the billionaire class. People are worried about that. The other area, big deal, is the movement toward authoritarianism. You don't have a president of the United States suing the media because they did stories you don't like. You don't have federal agents picking up college students who may have come from another country, throwing them into a van, taking them to a detention center without any charges being leveled against them. You don't have the president of the United States saying, oh, a judge ruled against me. We got to impeach that judge. That is called authoritarianism. And I don't care if you're conservative or progressive and middle of the road guy. I would hope we all stand together against that movement toward authoritarianism.
Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? I can't believe they didn't cut him off. He didn't cut him off. And I think it's because Brett Baier probably on some level agrees with them. And if not, if you're going to say, this is the thing. I was at a conference a couple of days ago and Pete Buttigieg was there. And he said, what is the point in telling people who already agree with you something they already know? And so it is so important that we go into spaces where people who don't normally hear our message can hear it, perhaps for the first time. And it's not like we're saying anything insane. He's being extremely persuasive there. We did see this awful display of the richest people in the world standing behind Donald Trump as if to say, like, this is our guy. This is our new king. And it is, I just don't think they're going to hear that from anyone else other than an independent or Democrat who goes on to Fox News. And I also love that he was basically like, hey, what he's doing right now is not normal. It's not normal. And I want to end with this. Actually, let me just go to this real fast because Trump tweeted today. Air traffic problems caused by incompetent Biden administration as headed by, in this case, a total novice and political hack, Pete Buttigieg. I will fix it. And then Ron Filipkowski said, criticize others, blame Biden, accept no responsibility, make promises live on Fox, deliver nothing, the MAGA credo. So true. And I want to end with this. This is how far we've fallen. Obama, when he was president, was protested by anti-deportation activists at a public immigration event. These are young activists. And one, I want you to see how Obama responded to these protesters who, by the way, his people were about to kick him out. He stopped them. Secondly, what he said about how much power a president does and does not have. And think about how far we've fallen from this simple statement he made. I'll leave you with that. Thank you much for watching. If you like the video, please hit like in the video. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.
Use your executive order to halt deportation for all 11.5 undocumented immigrants in this country right now. We agree that we need to pass comprehensive immigration reform. At the same time, you have a power to stop deportation for all undocumented
Actually, I don't.
in this country.
And that's why we're here.
I need your help.
Okay.
Stop deportation!
Thank you. All right. What I'd like to do... No, don't worry about it, guys. Okay, let me finish. Let me... How about... these guys don't need to go. Let me finish. No. You can stay there. Let me... Hold on a second. Hold on a second. So, you know, I respect the passion of these young people because they feel deeply about the concerns for their families. Now, what you need to know when I'm speaking as President of the United States, and I come to this community, is that if, in fact, I could solve all these problems without passing laws in Congress, then I would do so. But we're also a nation of laws. That's part of our tradition. And so the easy way out is to try to yell and pretend like I can do something by violating our laws. And what I'm proposing is the harder path, which is to use our democratic processes to achieve the same goal that you want to achieve. But it won't be as easy as just shouting. It requires us lobbying and getting it done. So, so for those of you who are committed to getting this done, I am going to march with you and fight with you every step of the way to make sure that we are welcoming every striving, hard-working immigrant who sees America the same way we do.